Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for having me here. My name is Leanne Lin, and I am 15 years old. I was born in Taiwan, but I've lived in different places and regions around the world. And as you can see from the picture, I currently live in Shanghai, China. Next slide, please. So first of all, my hobbies and interests. So as you can see from the pictures, I'm a pretty artsy person. I love painting, I love photography, and recently I loved filming and animation. So that said, next slide, please. So today I am here to share a children's book I made called I Wish. And this is a physical copy. So when was this book made? I made this during last year's online learning when the pandemic was very serious in China. And this perilous pandemic allowed me to realize how everything is interconnected and interdependent in different ways. So in science class, we learned about global warming and coral bleaching, and as well as its effects on the biodiversity. And for our final project, we had to make a product of our choice to inform people about this topic. And I initially wanted to create like a short, simple children's book to inform elementary school students about coral bleaching and like its causes and effects. But after doing more research, I realized that there's a lot more problems in the world and that corals are not the only ecosystems affected, and that there are also more problems. So that is why I decided to discuss more global crisis in the world. And so first of all, why did I even choose to make a children's book in the first place? And that is because I think children are the next generation and the future is in our hands. And so it is imperative to ingrain the ideas and values of climate early and recognize it as a really important issue. So in order to appeal to children, I interviewed several kids from around the world to see what they already know and what they are concerned of. And it was very interesting because I interviewed one kid and he told me he's worried about cutting trees. And I asked why, and he told me pollution. And I asked his brother, and he told me he loves animals. And I asked him, do you think they're happy? And what can you do to help them? And he answered, picking up more trash because they don't know what it is, so they would eat it. And I also asked another person, and he told me how his friends always fight for the soccer ball and they never play nicely. So after this interview, I gained an insight on what they already know and what they're concerned of, and it inspired me to narrow down my book to 5 main global issues. And those include global warming, ocean pollution, refugees, bullying, and our pandemic, COVID-19. Next slide, please. And this book is written through the perspective of a little boy writing a Christmas wishing list to Santa, as you can see in the first picture. And on this slide, all of the pictures are the problems I address. And these are all related to the interview I conducted with them. And on the next slide are some creative solutions. So those are just 3 examples, and they're also based off of the interview. And again, in order to appeal to them more, it was inspired by the interview. And for the first picture is a Nintendo Switch because a kid told me he loves to game. And so that inspired me to include that as one of the solutions, which is controlling the Earth's temperature through a Nintendo Switch. And the second one is a vacuum cleaner to like suck up all the trash in the ocean. And the last one is a transformer that can help build your immune system and kick out all of the virus in our body. And next slide, please. So over the summer, I got really interested in filming and animation. And I decided to turn this book into a short animation through Adobe. So can you please help me play one of the excerpts as an example?
What should I wish? Oh, remember the time when we talked about pollution that's caused by cars, factories, and deforestation? To make the world better than before. Oh, I want a snorkeling set to help the turtles trapped in nets, or the birds stuck in bags, and the whales eating trash. I want to remove.
Yeah, so that's just a glimpse of my animation. And if you would like to see more, you can also contact me. And so my goal is to not only inform everyone, but also inspire everyone. And the book I made was placed in our school's library. And the teacher and principal really liked it, and they shared it with the grade, and it inspired them to make a new project that is related to this. And as you can see in this picture, this is the film poster of my animation, and the laurels on the top right corner are the film festival that it's recognized in. So that made me really happy because it allowed not only allowed my school to see it, but also the world. And yeah, if you want to see more, I post my videos on YouTube as well. I think it's on the next slide. And it's just called Leanne Lin, and I post some artworks on Instagram too. So to conclude everything, I would just like to say I wish everyone can use their own ways to convey their ideas and help raise awareness, especially climate change. And what I hope to do in the future is to create more films and animations and artworks. And I hope to have an impact on kids and the world. So thank you so much for listening.